right, so the end of the year is upon us. It is almost 2021, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about series they want to read in 2021, and I'm a big series reader. As you see, I do seasonal series TBRs to keep myself on track, and I am wrapping up a few. I'm getting near the end of some. I have some that are huge projects that won't finish for a while. Looking at you, Wheel of Time, but I did have some that have been on my radar, especially because of BookTube, that I would like to really start next year. So these are the series I'm hoping to start in 2021. So in no particular order, just what I thought of off the top of my head. Let's go. The first one I'll mention is the Live Ship Traders series by Robin Hobb. I believe this is the second in many series in the whole realm of the Elderling world. I read the Farseer trilogy last fall, so fall of 2019, and I was hoping to read Live Ship this fall, but time got away from me. I was reading too many Stormlight books, so I'm hoping in the winter to start with Ship of Magic and get back into her writing. I feel like I've recovered and I can do this. I actually do not know much about it other than it's multiple point of view instead of singular, which Fitz was our main protagonist, and we had, I think, first person from him in the Farseer trilogy. I know my emotions will be crushed, and I know they're chonkers, and I know it involves boats, maybe some light piracy, really not sure, and I'm pretty sure the boat might be pseudo-sentient. No need to tell me in the description. I am going to read it, but also just don't use my description to decide if you want to read it. Robin Hobb is a wonderful writer. She has really beautiful prose. She writes some of the best character arcs that I've ever consumed, even if they are gut-wrenching. So I'm excited to get back into her world, and I'm going to do that with the next trilogy in her huge series. So that's one of them. And another that I might be able to start in December, it might not happen, but I want to start the Expanse series. The last book comes out next year, and that's the perfect time for me to get into it. Been wanting to watch the TV show, but I'm a very books before the TV show person, and so I want to start that with Leviathan Wakes. I don't know a lot about it. I know it's a very popular space opera. I know it's actually written by two authors, and yeah, that's all I really know. I just want to give it a try. I want to see what I think of it. It's one of those books where, you go to your local bookstore and if you're me, you just go straight to the sci-fi fantasy section because that's what I care about. And for years, one whole shelf has been the Expanse series. And for years, it's intimidated me. And now that I know there's an ending, I feel confident. I'm ready to pick it up and see what happens. So that's something I'm hoping to start for sure in 2021, if not maybe at the very end of 2020. The next two are series by Octavia E. Butler, and overall I just want to read a lot of her series, but I'm kind of trying to go in pseudo publication order, but also book chronology order. It's very complex. So I'm kind of following with the slow read. They're starting with the series Pattern Master, and that starts with Wild Seed chronologically, but that wasn't the first published. And there's also a book in there that Octavia Butler didn't approve another printing of. I'm gonna have to talk to my friends and figure out if I should read that one, but I want to read that, which is I think 3 or 4 books depending on if you include one of them. But there's also, I think it's called the Xenogenesis series, which I've heard a lot of really cool things of by her. I can't remember what it's about exactly, but I just really like her writing. I have really liked what she's done in general. Like, I've only read Kindred, but I can tell she's an author that, like, I don't know, I'm very excited to explore more of her work. So those are like the series by her that I'm going to try and read next year. And ideally, if I get a good groove, I'd like to read her whole backlog in the next 2 years. Because, yeah, I'm very, very intrigued. Next up will make my friend Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative extremely happy. I'm going to, and I'm saying it, it's happening, I am manifesting it. I'm going to read Malice, the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. I have no reason not to pick it up other than I was in too many series every time I wanted to pick it up, and it's a big boy. It's a tome. And I also wanted to give it its best shot, and I didn't want to read it until I was in the mood for some classic fantasy tropes that are, I don't think they're necessarily spun on their head, but I think they're used really well based off what everyone says. And I'm kind of excited because everyone says it's kind of confusing at the beginning, and I'm kind of digging that. I really don't know what it's about. Again, I just know people really love the characters, and that's a really good sign for me because character attachment, connection, that's like a big reason why I'll love a series. Like if I don't feel connected or at least enjoy watching a character interact with their world, I'm just like, it's going to be a struggle. And so, yeah, and multiple people have told me they really like this. It's 4 books, so quartet, and then I think there's a companion trilogy after it, so hopefully it's an author I really like, and I can just binge those 7 books over the next 2 years, so that'd be great. Another sci-fi series that I have, I think, all the novellas for, if not maybe the new novel, but I have all of the Murderbots on my Kindle. For sure the novellas, I might not have the newest novel. So I need to start Murderbot. Everyone seems to love Murderbot. I'm kind of saving him for a rainy day. Like if I'm feeling slumpy, I feel like that's the novella I need to pick up because I hear it's really humorous. I do like AI characters. It's one of my favorite things. What I know about this is that Murderbot likes reality TV show and is not very good at his job. That's all I know. I just know it's very funny. And yeah, I'm excited for that character study of Murderbot when I do get to it. I have them all. This is one of those rare moments where like I actually have it and I haven't like read it yet. So that's a little rare for me. The rest of these I'm going to be slowly getting from my library, but very excited for that one. Another sci-fi one starts with The Sleeping Giant by Sylvain Neuvel. Sleeping Giant by Sylvain Neuvel. And so this is the start of, I think, the Zenus Files, I think's the name of the trilogy, and I've heard nothing but good things. I'm pretty sure Rachel from Let Me in the Library and Lena from Sufficiently Advanced Lena have both been telling me to read it forever. I just haven't. Sometimes I've thought about doing the audiobook because I hear it's full cast and really good. Other times I hear it's mixed media, so that means I like kind of want to read it. Regardless, I want to get to it, especially because the 3rd book seems kind of controversial among like the people who read it. Some people think it's some people like it, some people don't like it. So I'm curious to see where like I fall on that spectrum. But also I've been wanting to read more sci-fi, and this is a very popular one. I did read The Test by Sylvain Neuvel earlier this year while I was reading a bunch of novellas for BookTube SFF. And I did enjoy that story. It was really quick and fast paced. I assume this will be a little different, but yeah, that is on my list. So I looked at my list again and it's another sci-fi series. I want to read The Children of Time duology. I don't know a lot. I know there are spiders. I'm not that worried about spiders, but that's what I know. There's humans and spiders, and I guess a lot of people root for the spiders. I don't know what context that's in, but I'm interested. And I've had it like on my Kindle, like I downloaded it from my library when there was Space Opera September, but I couldn't get to it. Like it was not in the cards. My September was crazy. So next year I really want to prioritize that. All right, so the last 2 are back to fantasy, back to basics, and so the first one is Seanan McGuire's Wayward Children series. I read Middle Game by her this year and loved it, so Justine from I Should Read That told me about her Wayward Children series, and I just haven't read it yet. These are a bunch of novellas about kids who found their, like, perfect world, but somehow came back to our world, I think. It's portal fantasy. The kids are kind of no longer in their, like, perfect fit home, so I think they're lost. I really don't know a lot. I just know each book's kind of like a different world. I do know 2 of them like can be read in any order and one sort of spoils the other. I just want to read it though because I'm intrigued by Seanan McGuire, and she's a very prolific author that I've read very little of, so most people tend to like this series and I'm going to try it out. And the last one I'm going to pick up because of Elliot Brooks, and this is the Winnowing Flame trilogy. And I'll put an image of the first book here, and I will link her review to that book down below because that's what intrigued me. I've heard nothing about this trilogy before, and from what she says, it's really a hidden gem and like really unique and does a lot of things really interestingly. And basically everything she said had me super interested. I mean, she said a lot of things and I don't remember what the plot is at all. I'm not good at remembering synopses to books, but just the idea of like a unique fantasy trilogy, the way she just described elements, I'm ready to try it. So that's the last one I'll put on. I'm sure I will read other series besides these in 2021, but these are ones that I'm going to hopefully attempt to prioritize. It's a good mix of fantasy and sci-fi. I definitely have a lot of series that I'm continuing in, but you can catch up on that on my like winter series TBR that'll be up in a few weeks. I can link the fall one for you if you know what I'm currently working on. So other than that, what are some series you want to start in 2021? What are some that you would recommend to me? Because, you know, it is still a new year. This plan is not set in stone, but it is what I'm like currently working off of. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.